This is why the Toronto Raptors are overrated. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Luke, and Raptors fans, listen up. Now, what encouraged me to make this video is this one NBA YouTuber who swears to God that the Raptors are coming out of the East. So I gotta put him and all you Raptors fans and supporters in your place real quick. Now, I have no hate towards Raptors fans. I'm just trying to help prove my point, so don't get all offended. But what you gotta do is hear me out and listen to why I think you guys are overrated. Now, if you're new, make sure to check out my other videos. I post some pretty lit stuff on this channel, so I would suggest that you subscribe and check my other videos out. But let's get into this one. Star power. This is something that the Raptors had a lot of last year, solely because of someone by the name of Kawhi Leonard. And yes, no one expected them to win a championship, but they did prove us wrong, so we gotta give them props. But it was against a team who had two of their stars out with potential career-ending injuries. But after winning the chip, they lost the player that carried them there, and now people expect them to go there again. Now look, Pascal Siakam. He is the undeniable most skilled player on this team, and people are talking about how he is really stepping up. Now let me tell you why I disagree. When someone like Kawhi Leonard leaves your team, the next star literally has no choice but to step up. This year, Spicy P has improved from 16.9 points per game to 23.6, which is cool and obviously a huge improvement, but looking at his improvement this year, if Kawhi was still there, Pascal would be putting up damn near the same numbers he put up last year, and that is a fact. This year, Spicy P is shooting way worse than he did last year. Last year shooting an insane 55% from the field, and this year shooting an extremely disappointing 45% from the field. Not that 45% is extremely terrible, it's just the decrease is definitely disappointing. Now you will say, oh, he's taking a lot more shots. Okay, but there's no excuse for your efficiency to drop that much, especially when you're an all-star starter. Look at Brandon Ingram. He got traded to the Pelicans, who are a team where he is the leader. His points per game and shot attempts went up just like Siakam's. Only difference, BI's percentages barely even changed. My point here is, number one, Pascal Siakam, otherwise known as Pascal Siakam, has been a little bit overrated this year. And he cannot be the first scoring option on a championship team, especially for his age and how young he is. Now, him and Kyle Lowry are obviously the leaders of this team. I don't care who the supporting cast is. If you have Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry leading your team, you can't win a championship, especially with the super teams that have formed in this league. I will admit that the Raptors supporting cast is great, but their guard depth is trash. They don't have a backup point guard, and trust me, playing Fred VanVleet 40 minutes a night won't turn out great for the Raptors in the playoffs, so I'd rather bet on a team like the Celtics to win the East, because they have two young, efficient all-stars in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Okay, I know Jaylen Brown wasn't an all-star, but he should have been. Jaylen Brown is just a way better offensively gifted OG Anunoby. Depth. It's something that the Raptors have, but not enough to win a championship. And like we talked about, they also don't have nearly enough star power to win a championship or even come out of the East. But the Raptors' depth is basically Norman Powell, who has played amazing this year, I will admit it, but it's him and Serge Ibaka, which is great because those are two very solid NBA players. But besides them, you now have to rely on players like Chris Boucher, who hasn't proven that he can play big minutes and provide great depth, especially in the playoffs. It's the same with Terrence Davis, who I actually like a lot, but again, isn't someone you could trust playing 20 minutes or more in the playoffs. So your bench is Serge, Dwight Powell, Davis, and Boucher, which isn't bad, but at the same time, they have no one else on the team that can play. Who are you going to throw in Patrick McCaw? And the Celtics have very similar bench depth to the Raptors, while having more star power in the starting lineup, and both having super talented head coaches. Celtics have Marcus Smart, Enes Kanter, and young players off the bench. Raptors have Norman Powell, Serge Ibaka, and young players off the bench. Now here's a list of teams that I think have the ability to take down the Raptors in the East. Celtics, Bucks, 76ers, and the Heat, if those last two teams I mentioned really put it together. Let me explain. The Bucks have the best player in the NBA currently in Giannis Antetokounmpo, while also having another all-star Chris Middleton and having the great veteran presence of Eric Bledsoe and Brook Lopez. They have okay depth, but again, they haven't proven anything in the playoffs, and the Bucks need to get it together in the postseason quickly, or else Giannis' reputation will take a huge hit. I do think they have what it takes to beat the Raptors, though. Like I said, they just have to put it all together, and now that Giannis and them have way more playoff experience, they definitely got what it takes. I mean, after all, they are the best team in the league by record. I mean, not even that, they're putting up a historic season. So let's take a look at the Philadelphia 76ers and why they can take down this Raptors team. They have an amazing roster, and definitely have the talent to beat the Raptors. They should have fired Brett Brown a while ago, and I do believe that if they had a great coach then they will be a lot better. But trust me, if these Sixers can play as a team and make their shots, they have more than enough to beat the Raptors. I mean, they have Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson, Al Horford, Shake Milton, and the list goes on of pure talent. They're definitely one of the most talented teams in the NBA, and again, if they can just play as a team, they come out of the East. The Heat have been my most underrated team in the East for a while, and I do think that they have a chance to beat the Raptors. The only thing that's holding them back is the Raptors' experience. Miami is a very young team, and their leader, Jimmy Butler, has barely played in the playoffs, but they have some of the best depth in the NBA, and I think next year, this Heat roster will go crazy. But I honestly do believe they can beat the Raptors team if they really play together. Boom. I just listed all these reasons why all these teams in the East can beat the Raptors. To conclude, the Raptors don't have enough all-around star power to go far in the playoffs, and I think a lot of teams have a great shot at beating this team. Pascal Siakam is a little overrated, and isn't ready to be the first scoring option on a championship team. I do love Kyle Lowry's leadership, but obviously it takes more than that to really compete for a ring. Especially when they have to compete against teams like the Lakers and the Clippers, who makes the Raptors' talent look like a joke. Anyways, guys, leave your thoughts down below. I want to see what you guys have to say. It just takes a lot more than what the Raptors have to win a ring. So if y'all want to subscribe, and like the video too, because YouTube likes that. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.